Hello and welcome to the Spector Group Digital Media Agency Online Marketing Mastery Question and Answer episode number 4. My name is Daryl Spector and I'm glad you're here. As always, the purpose of these short episodes is to answer questions that we have received from people throughout the week that we feel hearing the answers to these questions and even the questions themselves will help you as you can continue on your journey towards mastering online marketing for your particular business. Now, this session is going to be a little bit different. Normally, we answer 3 questions, but in this session, we're just going to answer 1 because I'm going to expand on this quite a bit and then show you what we actually do for our clients, which should give you a really good idea of what you should expect if you're working with an agency right now, or you're thinking about hiring an agency, or so forth. So this question was, and it's actually a question we get a lot, it just happened to come up again, and so it's a great time to discuss it. This came from Catherine A., and she is an optometrist. She owns a practice with a couple of locations, and she sent in an email and asked that said, I have worked with a digital marketing agency in the past, and it seemed like a complete waste of money. My site did move up a little bit, but I had no way to really measure any results that mattered. If I work with your team, can you help my site get to page 1 of Google, and how can I measure the results? Okay, so we get some version of this question almost daily. Now, the first half of that question, which is, can you help my site get to page 1 of Google? We talked to Catherine about that privately because that was very specific to her site. But the second part of the question is, how can I really measure the results, right? Which is another way of saying, how do I know that what you're doing is working? Can you prove it to me, and that sort of thing? Obviously, it's pretty straightforward to see if your site moves up in the rankings, but there's a lot more to that. And so I'm going to jump over and show you a data report that we custom create for each client and what that entails. And then I'm going to go through that with you because, again, I think it's going to be really good for you to see not only what we do for our clients, but to sort of set an expectation so that if you're thinking about working with us or another agency, you have that expectation of what is available out there and what you should be able to get. Okay, so let's jump over there now. Okay, now this is a custom data dashboard that we build for each one of our clients, and depending upon the client, what they need, what we're trying to track, what makes sense for them specifically, this dashboard may vary a little bit, but for the most part, it's going to contain data that is going to be very useful for you to measure the results for your own business and then the progress that's being made in your campaign. And so you might be aware that you can install what is referred to as Google Analytics. And if you're not familiar with that, just Google that, and you can download a little piece of code. It's free from Google, and you can install that on your site. If you don't know how to do it, reach out to me or my team, and we'll throw it in there for you real quick. And you'll be able to start tracking a lot of data. The issue with Google Analytics is it's very cumbersome, kind of ugly to look at. Can't really if you're not really familiar with it, you can't figure out what should you look at, what shouldn't you, what do certain things mean. And so we build these data dashboards to kind of display what is generally the most important to people in a really nice way to format it and to look at it. Because if you are familiar with Google Analytics, you'll know that going in there, it looks really ugly and it's clunky and so forth. So we try to present it in a really easy-to-read format. So I'm going to walk through this just to give you an idea of things that we will track in general. And so up here is a section. All of our clients have live access to this dashboard, so they can go into it anytime they want and take a look at the data. And basically right here, they can plug in whatever search time frame that they would like to find the results for. Okay, now I'm shooting this live on April 6th, and so I went from April 1st to April 5th. I just picked that time frame for this month, and then it's going to display the data. Over here simply is just a source. You can add or take out different sources that you want to track specifically. So when our clients look at this, and by the way, part of it's blurred out so I can protect the client's privacy, of course, but going through this, just to give you an example, in this time frame, April 1st to 5th, our client has gotten 524 users to their website, of which 512 are new users, as you could see right here. Now, this is up 13.2% from last year, same time. So we're comparing year over year. So April 1st to April 5th of 2017 to April 1st to April 5th, 2018. Our visitors are up 13.2%. And this is a client we've had for about 5 months. So we weren't working with this site in April of 2017. So the total amount of users is up 13.2% year over year. I'm sorry, 13.8 for new users, 13.2 overall for users. And our sessions, that is basically if the same person comes back multiple times, it counts it as a different session. So that's up 9.7%, so more people are coming back. The session duration just kind of says how long is somebody on your site on average. So some people are there longer, some people are there shorter. This is a very small time frame, so this is a little misleading right here. And it also depends what you want people to do once they get to your site. Sometimes 40 seconds may be enough to grab the phone number or request the information, and that's it on average. Bounce rate, that's a really misleading, in my opinion, metric as well, because what it's telling you is this is the number of people that went to your website and did nothing else other than land on the page they are currently on. So if somebody went to your website and they landed on a page, and that page had all the information they needed, and maybe even to contact you in some capacity or whatever, and then they left the site, that's considered a bounce. The only way your bounce rate goes down is if people start navigating all around your site, and there may not be a need for them to do so. So it's a little misleading, but nonetheless a metric that we sort of look at as part of an overall look at everything that's going on. The page sessions is just the number of pages that people visit when they're on your site. So again, for this client in this example, someone needs to generally only visit 1 or 2 pages to accomplish what is needed. If you have a site that you want them to visit multiple pages, then this would be a more important metric for you. We also set up custom goals. Okay, in this particular circumstance, the client wants to track people who request an appointment with them online. Okay, so the first 5 days of the month, nobody requested an appointment. This is strictly online. It doesn't mean that nobody called and requested an appointment or something like that. If someone had requested it, this number might say 3, and then it's going to give that same metric below it, comparing it to last year. And this metric right here would be the total number of submissions received by the company out of all of the visits to the site. Over here is just a quick look at the number of users on a day-by-day basis. And then as we scroll down a little bit, over here, this kind of tells you where is the traffic coming from. So if you're working with an agency, you're probably looking at organic traffic. So for example, out of these 524 users right here, 465 came from Google Organic. That means the majority of people are finding this site through an organic search term that they put in, and they found this site. Direct means somebody typed in the company's URL and went directly to it. And then you have Bing Organic, Yahoo Organic, and then referral, right? So maybe a Yelp, someone came from Yelp, DuckDuckGo, and so forth. So this kind of shows you where your traffic is coming from, which gives you an idea of, is the organic search part working? A little bit further down, we do a user by search engine. Google obviously is the largest, and so as you can see here, 97% of traffic is coming from Google. Over here, it depends on the type of business you're in. Sometimes it really matters whether or not you're getting mobile or desktop traffic. so that you can optimize for that. In this case, you could see that a large amount of traffic is coming from mobile, then desktop, and then tablet. Okay. Top channel, which is, again, just sort of a breakdown of what was up here to the extent of was it organic, direct, referral, or social. And you could see over 90% was actually organic. This is new versus returning. It's just a visual of what was above, but you could see that most visitors are new. And then down here, this gives you what we set up as the top 10 users by city. So if you have a local business like, Catherine has, you're going to want traffic from certain areas, okay, that you may target. And you would see those listed down here. So for example, if you were in Florida, and you were in Miami, for example, you would want, most of your traffic coming from Miami, and then also from, surrounding suburbs, possibly, if it made sense for you to capture that market. But if you were seeing, if you were located in Florida and you were seeing traffic from, Georgia, and you were a local eye doctor in this example, that wouldn't do you any good. So you'd be getting untargeted traffic, which would be a problem. And then over here, we just set up what pages are people visiting the most, okay? And I apologize that a lot of this is blurred out, but we do that for our clients' privacy, so that you can't identify them by any characteristics of this video. And I'm sure you would want us to do the same for you if we were using your business for this. So this just sort of shows you what pages did the people visit, and also how many times were they viewed, how many were unique, the bounce rate, which I talked about above, and then the time on the page. So this kind of tells you, are people reaching the page of your site that you want them to reach? So with all of the data that is on this sheet, this is going to give you a really, really great idea as to whether or not your campaign is focused and achieving the results that you're looking for. If you're not getting something like this, I would be a little concerned as to what might actually be going on by whoever you're working with. So again, this is what we use for our clients, and this is something that you should expect with anybody that you might be working with. So I hope that helped you. Okay, and don't forget, if you want your questions answered, please send us an email to hello@thespectorgroupdma.com, and we will answer your questions via email. If it is a question that we believe would help others in their journey to master online marketing for their particular business to attract more customers, clients, or patients, we're going to include it in a video like this so we can provide as much value as possible and help people. If it's just a private question specifically related to your website or your business that no one else would get any value from, then of course we won't include it here. Also, don't forget to take advantage of our free video analysis. You can do that by going to the spectorgroupdma.com and click on the yellow Get Started button. Our free video analysis is a very, very in-depth analysis of your market, your competition, where your particular business ranks within that industry, within that market. It shows you where opportunity is available. It shows you where you might be losing revenue or bleeding money. It's a very, very in-depth analysis. Again, just go to the spectorgroupdma.com and click on the Get Started Now button. I appreciate you taking the time to be with us for episode number 4. Get your questions sent in, and we will be back with you next week. Take care.